Hey, you guys, it's your girl Tina Wolfe, bookwithtina.com. Okay, today I am going to do a very quick read. I'm going to go with the flow on this. So hopefully this reading today resonates with you, okay? This reading is for entertainment purposes only, and during the reading, I may understand, you may not. You may understand, I may not. We both may understand during the reading, or we both may not understand during the reading. I'm going to ask that you respect my perspective, and I will also respect your perspective as well. If the information that you're receiving is different from the message I'm providing, it's quite all right. Please share the message because it may be for me or someone else, okay? Please do not use these readings as a form of therapy or advice. You've been blessed with the gift of discernment, so take the information you need and throw the rest away. Hey, Nick. Hey, Nichols. Why you just gonna blast my nickname like that? I'm not even gonna repeat it. Okay. All right. So I have my Modern Love Tarot deck. And I'm just going to do a general reading today, so hopefully this resonates with you. I'm going to do a couple of them out of the book as opposed to the cards. Lately, I've just been into a lot of books, okay? But the thing that I love about this deck is that even in the book, the pictures are full covered, okay? For those of you that are wondering, the name of the deck is called Modern Love Tarot, and I did purchase it on Amazon. So here we go. Three of Swords. We're going to read the general meaning, and I'm going to show you, hey, you see they? I'm going to show you guys the picture. Hopefully you guys can see it. Three of Swords, okay? Because I always like to look at the picture for, ooh, somebody's heart has been stabbed over and over, and instead of pulling that dagger out and stitching that sucker up so that it can go ahead and heal, baby, they are leaving them daggers in there. Holding on to old memories. You have old flowers that have died. The situation has been dead, and you're in a live situation, and you're still allowing it to kill off the new growth. It's time to let this heartbreak go, and it is time to let it heal. Okay. Good morning, Ashley. So let's read the general love meaning. It says there's some sadness in your relationships, and those you love have a heavy heart. If this is happening to you, take care of yourself. There's no need to put pressure on yourself to feel better or bounce back according to other people's expectations. When I tell you, when you're going through a heartbreak and or a healing of a heartbreak, okay, a lot of people will say, just get over it. Just move on. Just move forward. Focus on yourself. And although these phrases may be somewhat kind of sort of helpful, it's not helpful to the person who doesn't understand the process of letting go or moving forward or how to heal from that situation. So you're not really being of a benefit to that person by making those types of phrases. My husband taught me that sometimes you do have to take what's called a heart break. And it's not that your heart is broken, it's that your heart needs a break from everything. Kind of sort of like when you say, ooh, I've been at work too long and I need a break. I need to go on vacation from all of this stuff. So he says sometimes you have to give your heart a break from the constant overthinking of what happened back then and this happened, and you're repeating that pain, that emotional pain. Good morning, Ebony. Repeating that emotional pain over and over again in your head. What happened and what did I do wrong? Am I not enough? How did that happen? And I can't believe it. And instead of constantly stabbing yourself in the heart over and over again with that situation, even though the situation is dead, you can't even move forward, and you're allowing your petals to not even be able to flourish because you're holding on to the dead situation. You have got to let it go. Tina, you just said don't tell people that phrase, but here's what I'm going to do for you. When you are going through the let go process, okay, this is my personal process. My personal process of letting go is to look at the situation and to view it as if it were up on a movie screen. Look at it. Now, this is not to beat yourself up and say, oh my God, and it's not to do that. It is to look specifically at the situation and say, what is it that I learned from the situation? If you cannot figure out what the lesson is, you will not be able to move on to step too. So make sure that you're watching this in movie format. Movie format, when you go to the movie theater or when you go to the TV and you are watching it, you're like, ooh, you should have did this. You should have did that. It is so easy for you to come up with these solutions when you're watching someone else or when you're watching that movie. It's easy for you to come up with that, right? So since it's easier for you to see other people's problems and create solutions that are on TV, watch your situation like it was a movie. Do just that, okay? Come up with the solution. Whatever solution you yell at yourself on that movie screen, that is the solution that you're like, okay, I learned that lesson. I learned that lesson. Now, from that, you can create the solution. You know what? Man, you saw from the beginning where this situation was not going to go right, yet you stayed in it, right? And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. This could be with family, friends. It could be with coworkers. It could be with business partners. It can also be with your romantic partner. So if this is resonating with you, it may not, you might be like, my love life is fine. Well, it might not be your love life. It might be your career where you're needing to hear this if it's resonating with you. It may be with family and friends. You may need to create new boundaries and new solutions, right? So now that you have the lesson, now you create what the solution is, not the consequence, right? But the solution, because there's a difference between creating a solution and providing a consequence. Some people like to provide consequences, but the problem with giving a consequence to someone is if you don't stand your ground and if you don't stick to it, then guess what? The person's going to continue to do it anyway. And now you feel bad that you didn't stick to what you was going to say. So create a solution and try the solution. If the solution works out for you, perfect. If it doesn't, go back to the drawing board to create a new solution. Do not share this solution with said situation, said person, because now they're going to test it on purpose, right? Now, if you're ready for the test, you're ready for the exam, then go ahead and do that. So now that you have found the lesson, you created the solution, now it's time to take action. This is your letting go process. Once you take action on it, it doesn't mean the first time is going to be very successful, but sometimes it can. But if that first time is not successful, go back to the drawing board and tweak it a little bit until you get it right, until it works for you. So in this matter of the heart situation, right? Whether it's with family, friend, coworker, or romantic mate, instead of reliving this situation, this dead situation over and over again and allowing it to continue to pierce your heart, remove those swords, okay? Remove those swords out of your heart and begin to heal by letting go, by learning the lesson, creating a solution, and putting it into action, okay? Once you have gotten to that point, now you are ready. Good morning, Lucia. Now you are ready for the forgiveness stage. Okay, the forgiveness stage. So the forgiveness stage would be, I have already let go, meaning you have already done the process that I just explained to you. So now in the forgiveness stage, you are not allowing it to for you to emotionally respond the same way that you responded before, and you are able to share your experience with someone else. Hence, sharing the experience from what you learned from and how to move forward with, and the solution means that you have learned wisdom. So in forgiveness comes wisdom. So now you are saying, I learned my lesson. I learned how to let go. I created a solution. I took action. And now the forgiveness says I'm not going to allow someone else or another situation to do that to me ever again. And the person that did it, I thank you for this unpleasant ass experience that you gave to me, because now I understand how not to avoid it, but I understand how to respond to it. going forward. Right? All right. It says, if you help someone else through a difficult time while you're the caretaker, ensure your emotional needs are still being met. This too shall pass. It's just going to hurt in the meantime. So during your healing process, right, your let go process, while you have learned the lesson, the process that may be a little challenging for you will be the process of creating a solution, right? That you know that is going to work for you. Don't spend a lot of time on it. Don't be thinking about it for weeks and 2 weeks and 3. Create one solution. If it works, go with it. If it doesn't, then go back to the drawing board and create another solution, not a consequence. Because consequences are really revenge, right? The person's going to get a consequence with your solution anyway. You know what? Going forward, I'm just not going to yell with this person. The consequence, because remember, we already said that deprivation changes behavior. Thank you, Kev Hicks, for that phrase, right? So when you say, I ain't going to yell with this person no more. You didn't say, if you yell at me again, I'm not going to yell at you anymore, but I'm also going to put you out, or whatever it is, right? You don't have to do all that. All you have to do is just say, I'm not going to yell with that person. And when you deprive them of that experience, of that negative experience, when you deprive that, because it's a choice, when you deprive them of that, now they got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to come back to you a different way. All right? All right. So let's go to, we're going to continue with the Three of Swords, and something's telling me to go to the struggling relationship part. So if you are in a relationship, meaning a relationship with family, friends, co-workers, or a romantic mate, and this is kind of resonating with you, and or you're having a situation and you're like, okay, Tina, you already told me, the let go process. You already shared with me your forgiveness process. You already, have told me kind of what I'm going through, if this is resonating with you, or you know what, I know someone that's going through this and they need to watch this video. Share it with them, okay? But if they're struggling, you're in a struggling relationship, it says communication has likely shut down about important issues lately because of a pattern of fighting over everything. Now, remember, this is just confirmation. Good morning, Alicia. This is just confirmation of what I just discussed and talked about, which is saying you're talking about the same thing over and over again. You're both being defensive against each other, and no one is creating solutions. So somebody got to go first. So it might as well be you. So you change how you are going to respond to these arguments, right? Now it says it can be hard to feel like you can express yourself if it doesn't feel safe. So if every time you try to have a conversation with this family, friend, co-worker, business partner, or romantic mate, every time you say something, they become defensive, or you become defensive every single time. It's like, I feel like I can't even open my mouth. So since I can't open my mouth, I'm just going to shut down and not say anything. And that is not a good solution, because your voice is important and you need to be heard, right? Remember, deprivation changes behavior. That's by Kev Hicks. All right. It says the longer the silence happens, the harder it is to get some healthy communication in place. Maybe it's time for a mediator or counselor to help break the ice. So if you need somebody to come in between, to come in and to help you to be able to communicate with the other person, then think about who that is. Not always does it have to be a professional like a psychologist or psychiatrist. Hey, Naya. Hey, Loretta. It does not always have to be that type of a person. Sometimes it can be a life coach. Sometimes it can be a friend. Sometimes it can be a trusted family member, like a grandmother who has wisdom, who's going to be neutral. She's not going to side with you. She's not going to side with him, or, she's not going to side with the situation. She's just going to call it out just as it is. You know what I'm saying? So having that neutral party will help you in your process so you don't continue with that 3 of swords that I showed you, right? Where you're constantly leaving those swords stabbed into your heart. Meanwhile, the situation is dead, which was the dead rose. And you got this rose that's trying to sustain itself, but its petals are falling off because it doesn't know how to let go of the situation. If you've tried deprivation to change the behavior of the other person by creating that solution for yourself and it's not working, but you're like, okay, let's see if this is going to work. Let's bring in that third party, okay? And when that third party comes in, then you guys can actually sit down and have a conversation. If it still doesn't work, then it is time to make some life-changing decisions. What is best for you? What is serving you in your highest good? Okay, let's go back. Let's pull one more card and then we'll wrap this up, all right? All right, this one, I'm going to read struggling relationship and the end. I'm not sure which card it is, and I'm not going to look for it because I believe in just going by the message, okay? So it says struggling relationship. Trust is broken in many ways. One subtle way this can happen is when someone does not say what they mean and mean what they say. Small disappointments over time can turn into big deals. This needs to be corrected ASAP so that trust can slowly be rebuilt. I think enough said on that one. Now it says the end, okay? You now have the opportunity to drastically change the direction of your life, confirmation of what I just said, and reignite your passion for your life's purpose. In other words, this dead situation that you keep reviving, which is taking your petals away, is not serving you a purpose, okay? So in order for you to get your passion back, you need to start living in whatever your purpose in life is. And I'm not talking about going to work to a job that you don't like. I'm not talking about, okay, let me force myself to hang out with my friends. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about start living in your life purpose. What is it that you are supposed to be doing, right? Are you supposed to be of service to others? If so, then that's where your focus should be. Now, my definition of focus is progressively moving forward. So this is the time for you to start progressively moving forward and doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. And a portion of that is loving yourself. If you say, Tina, I'm not ready to be of service to others. Tina, I'm just not ready. How can I help someone else when I can't even help myself, or I'm learning how to help myself? My God, let me tell you what. You know how I got into doing what I'm doing right now in this very moment, which is me living in my life purpose? I was going through, and those of you that have heard this, you're like, oh, here she go again. But for those of you that are new, I was going through a horrific separation/divorce from 2015 to 2016, and I started learning about myself. I started reading books, relationship books, attending classes, attending courses, getting advice from wise counsel, be it family, be it friends, sometimes even my coworkers, and and sometimes even from counselors, psychiatrists, psychologists, and all of that to get to where I needed to be. And during that process, I shared where I was at that point in time. And during that process, someone came to me and said, oh, you're a life coach. And I said, I don't life coach. I ain't no life coach. And they said, yes, you are, because you are sharing your experiences and people are learning from you, and they're coming to you to see how can I get to where you are. I said, but I feel like I'm down here. But sometimes when you feel like you're down here, to other people, you're up here. They're down here. They haven't gotten as far as you have gotten. And so the person shared with me that sometimes you have to be the first one to set that example. And you are, by being open, by being honest, by saying, I'm going through this. It allows other people to know that they are not alone in that situation. And even though this solution worked for you, it may not work for them. It gets them to thinking, maybe I need to make some changes in my life, right? So this is where I started. While being of service to myself and sharing my experience allowed others to receive my service. So I directly and indirectly provided service to others by making a choice to grow in my own life. If that makes sense, right? Spend some time researching things that make your heart sing. The world is wide open to you now. Even if you don't make any solid choices, it's nice to know which ones you have. So again, going through that process, baby, when I tell you this modern love deck is on point today, at least for me, okay? Make sure that you are taking the time to see what various solutions and choices you have, because my other affirmation that I have is I have a choice. Now, if you say I have a choice and it doesn't feel right to you, or you feel like you don't have a choice, or you say I have a choice, or I know I have a choice, like you're trying to convince yourself that you have a choice, then maybe there is some deeper work that needs to happen in there. If you're saying I don't know what the lesson is, I don't know how to come up with a solution, I just don't know what to do, I don't know, Tina, I just don't know what to do, then what you're saying indirectly is I don't understand that I have choices. If you don't understand that you have choices, you're not going to be able to create solutions. You're not going to be able to create alternatives that say, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. So what I would encourage you to do, if you are one of those people that's having this situation, look up the word choice. Like actually take time, look it up. Even though in our mind we know what it means, sometimes you need that thing that's going to help you to click. So look up the word choice. Look up the definition and see if there's something that's going to resonate to you. Because if you are unable to come up with solutions, then that means you don't realize that you have a choice. If you keep saying, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, that means you feel like you don't have a choice. And I'm not putting that on you. I'm bringing awareness to you, and I'm bringing it to your attention that you do have choices. So if you're a I don't know person, or I just give up, or fuck it, or I'm just going to avoid it, I'm just not going to deal with it. If you're that type of person and you're making those similar statements, then that means that you feel like you don't have a choice. So learn what the word choice means, define it, and start bringing that into your world so you can create solutions. That makes sense. All right. I love you guys. Y'all have an awesome and amazing day today. Go out there, be great, be your authentic self, grow, and go do things that are within your life purpose. I love you very much. Make sure that you compliment at least 10 people a day, because you never know whose life you can change. You never know whose vibrations you can raise up, and you never know what door of opportunity you can open up by simply paying a compliment. I love you guys. It's your girl, Tina Wolfe. bookwithtina.com is my website. If you need help with self-love, self-healing, or building of relationships, I got you, okay? Heart emojis to the world. Love you. Bye-bye.